Good evening, viewers, wherever you are receiving us. Welcome to the Leadership Challenge show here on EBN TV. It's another wonderful Tuesday to talk about leadership, and we are glad that you are watching. This is a show that is transforming our nation and leadership in this country, and we are glad that you have given us your attention. It's a popular show, and we thank God for the response that we are receiving. Please, at the bottom of the screen, find a number that you can text and let us know your views on the topic of discussion today. Today we are talking about leadership and discipline, or in other words, disciplined leadership. And in studio with us to help us in this conversation is Dr. Mary Mugo, Dean of Faculty, School of Business and Economics at Mount Media University. Welcome, Dr.
Thank you very much, Ref.
Thank you for finding time to come and help us. You know, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to leadership. And last time you were here, it was a blast. I think the internet was talking so much about it. And thank you for finding time.
You're welcome.
To start us off, leadership. And I know you have talked much about leadership. How does discipline work or interact with leadership? What is the role of discipline in leadership?
Thank you very much. Discipline is a core leadership trait. A trait in this case meaning that it is an enduring characteristic. So you cannot be a good leader, you cannot be an effective leader unless you have discipline. Discipline is about having a standard or promoting a standard and making a choice to do the very best. You know, many times people have looked at discipline from a negative aspect because many times people think discipline has to do with negativity, but actually discipline has a positive aspect. And therefore a leader must be able to be disciplined. They must be able to promote a standard. They must be able to do the very best they can do given that situation. And discipline in leadership is everywhere. If you look at the Bible, wherever you look, you'll see there was a lot of discipline. In fact, in life, you cannot succeed unless you have discipline. You cannot be a performing leader unless you have discipline. And we are also saying that when you talk about discipline in leadership, you're saying that this leader is able to do the right thing at the right time. Remember, there's a time we spoke about leadership and timing. It is only a disciplined leader that is able to do the right thing at the right time. A disciplined leader or focus irrespective of the things around him or her. Because discipline allows you to actually not be disrupted. It allows you to focus. So if you want to know a leader who is not disciplined, is a leader who never finishes nothing, is a leader who is never focused, is a leader who never keeps time, is a leader who is just there. And by the way, that is, I believe that is where the word discipleship also comes from a biblical point. Because you cannot make a disciple unless there is discipline. And discipline is not just in leadership. We must also be disciplined as ourselves. And our viewers, you need to ask yourself, how disciplined are you? How often do you put an alarm, Reverend? And alarm inalia, unavinya ukiwa umelala kidogo, unasema, ai, bando. You simply don't have discipline. Discipline is doing what you intend to do and stick there and focus and not be distracted. So discipline and leadership is one and very important thing. You cannot be a good leader without discipline.
Wow. Yeah. That's powerful. But help us to understand. You have said that discipline is an enduring characteristic.
Correct.
In leadership. Do you think many people in leadership, when we talk about our leadership today, whether in this nation, whether in the church, in the institutions. Do many of the leaders, do you think majority of the leaders really take discipline very important? Do you think they relate it the way you have described it?
Well, most of them actually, in my view, think that discipline has to do with rules, has to do with regulations, whereas partly, yes, discipline must be self. Actually, a leader should be self-disciplined. You don't need to be
disciplined by others.
No, you don't even need to be supervised by anybody to exercise discipline as a leader. Even as a human being, you don't need to be supervised by anyone to be disciplined. Even on our own roads, Rev, you'll find that many times people are stuck because of lack of discipline.
Yes.
The other day, Mombasa Road people were there up to 3 a.m. because of lack of discipline.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So discipline is not about rules. Actually, many times rules are put in place because people are not disciplined. But you should have self-discipline. You should have self-control as a leader. And so many leaders today, because of the things that I see them do, I think most of them are very indisciplined. Because how do you tell someone is indisciplined, for example? It's just the way they do things, the way they speak. You find that our leaders have very vulgar language. They are abusive. The way they do things, they don't keep time. You know, they call you for a meeting. They will keep you waiting for 2 hours because they think they are important. Totally indisciplined. They have no integrity, no discipline at all. So many leaders don't seem to understand that discipline has to do with self-discipline, doing the right thing without being coerced to do so, without being forced by whatever thing, whether it is a rule, whether it's a policy. You just decide, I'm going to do the right thing. Yeah.
And you know, they say leadership, especially leadership positions, political in government, they say they come with power and trappings of power. And there is this common saying that power corrupts. How is it likely to play out after you have gotten all this power? Because we have seen good people go into leadership, especially government leadership, political leadership. And they seem not to care anymore. They change.
No, you know, leadership and power is something that I love talking about because power has been misunderstood in leadership. And that is why many leaders have no discipline because they think they are so powerful, they can do whatever they want. But you see, a leader with integrity will use the power they have for the benefit of the constituents. A leader in an organization, in a church, everywhere, will use their power to benefit the people that they are leading. Look at Jesus Christ, the best leader that we have. Jesus Christ is all powerful, but he uses his power to benefit the people. He actually was so disciplined that he chose to go to the cross to save the people. Now that is what we call disciplined leadership. You are willing to lay your life down for the sake of the people that you lead. And in fact, leaders who are disciplined and have integrity understand that power is not there for you to misuse. Power is there for you to use to benefit the people. They also understand that as a leader, the power that I have is given to me now. You know, it is not something that is forever. And if you check even most political leaders, once they are out of positions, they can't convince nobody nothing. Because remember, we also say that having a position does not necessarily mean that you are a leader. So I think most of these political fellas are simply in positions. They are not leaders. Because leaders will use power to influence people for better, not to kanyangia people chini, you know, for you to know I am the one in charge here. But then if you hear any person saying, you know, you need to know I'm the boss around, they are not leaders. They are just in a position.
And you see now, you know, I'm wondering, because when you look at the young people in our society, it appears like they have no leaders they can copy. The things that our leaders are doing, it's like the young generation has nothing to copy. They have no example. They have no good example they can emulate. And I think it is good you touch a little bit because also leaders must care about the generation that is looking up unto them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a disciplined leader, Rev, is a good role model.
Because Daktari, they are coming into leadership. They can't keep their family. Marry a second wife and a third one. They come into leadership. They don't seem to be able to account for the money they are spending. So the young people are out there looking at them and say, what can we copy in these people? And also it's no wonder we risk raising a generation of thieves.
That's very serious.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, a leader must be able to produce originals, not copies. I am of the opinion that a good leader produces their own kind. Even the Bible says so, actually. You produce your own kind.
Yeah.
A disciplined leader should be a role model. But I also want to say this, Rev, that even the young generation needs to understand that you don't have to do the wrong thing because a leader is doing it.
Yeah.
In fact, in leadership, we talk about self-leadership. You can actually decide to be the standard. I normally say, Pastor, that in leadership, you don't need to be outstanding. It is good to be outstanding, but you need to be the standard, you see? So, as young people also, you need to be self-led. You don't have to follow somebody who is doing the wrong thing and be irresponsible and say, oh, there's no one we can emulate.
Yeah.
Who did the first human being emulate? You can be the person that others will emulate. You can be the young man, the young woman that others will look upon and say, so and so is so young yet very disciplined. Because again, the same leaders use the young people to do bad things.
Yeah.
They will come and give the young people some few shillings, and the young people will go and do bad things to other people. They'll take drugs, they'll go and burn people's vehicles. So the young people must also stop being used by leaders. They must decide to stand and be responsible and be accountable as young people.
Yeah.
So I also differ in that it doesn't mean because someone else is doing the wrong thing, the young people should follow them.
Yeah.
They can stand on their own. They can be responsible. They can be accountable. And by the way, the leaders you see is a reflection of the voter. So we must change as the voters also if you want leaders of integrity.
And I believe the young people, you are hearing that. You don't have to emulate anybody. You just know the right thing. You are grown-ups. You have good minds. You can think on your 2 feet and do the right thing. You know, it disturbed me to see a convoy of the deputy president being stoned at Narumoro. And I wonder, these leaders, they don't learn. They don't learn. Because now, if you are hiring goons to go and stone a convoy of a VIP, what are you telling these young people?
No, you see, Pastor, what my thinking is very, should I say, revolutionized?
Yes.
You see, if I don't like you, I'll not come to your rally.
Yes.
If I don't want to listen to you, I don't need to come where you are.
Yeah.
And that is what Kenyans need to learn and leaders need to learn. You cannot force people to listen to you.
Yes.
It is the time you decide, I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to come to your rally. Why do you need to get young people as a leader and tell them to go and stone whoever, not just a VIP, anybody for that matter?
And did you see, Daktari, before you even conclude this first session, can you tell us what that stoning was serving? Okay, what was that? What was it meant to do? Because a leader is going to Nyeri, and you are a leader in that county. You don't want to go to this. Okay, stoning, throwing those things, because I saw it and everybody saw it, it was on TV. What was it serving? Okay, what will that leader who hired these goons gain?
Of course, all the leaders said that they did not hire them. That's the first thing. So young people, you're sent to stone others and you are disowned. You are disowned. So you for lack of a better word, and this is a Christian station, they are simply idiots. Wow. I call them useful idiots. Yes. A useful idiot is someone who is used by others to advance their own things, and you're left there on your own. So they are simply useful idiots.
Wow.
And you see, so they were disowned. In fact, I had them
Nobody
saying...
said they hired those people.
No. They
But
actually...
were they there on their own accord? According to you,
let me tell you what they said, Ref.
Yes.
They actually said the Tanga wing is the one that stage managed. So you see...
Really.
Those are the kind of leaders we have. But you see, what from a leadership point, what that creates is a perception.
Yeah.
So whoever was trying to do it wanted to bring out a perception that in Kieni, they don't want the deputy president. But you see, if you don't want him, you don't need to stone him.
Yeah, there should not have been people there.
You just ignore him, let him go and find an empty place. You know? So...
Wow.
It's the young people need to stop being useful idiots. Period.
Wow. And as young people, we will not buy idiocy. It will not be part of us, and it will not be anything that we bring to our lives. We are taking a short break. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. We are glad you are watching, and we are seriously talking about issues. And today is about leadership and discipline. And Dr. Mary Mugo is again together with us. And I want to know, Dr. when it comes to service delivery, success in leadership, how will discipline affect service delivery?
Thank you very much. Now, without discipline as a leader, even as a person,
yes,
you will never succeed. Why do I say so? Because without discipline, you have no plan. You are planless. Without discipline, you tend to do most times the right thing at the wrong time, or the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Because discipline allows you to follow a certain path.
Yeah.
Discipline allows you to focus.
Yeah.
Discipline allows you to ensure that no disruption to what you intend to achieve. Therefore, for service delivery to happen, leaders must be disciplined. And when we talk about discipline in terms of service delivery, we're saying that you must be able to honor your word. You must be able to stand to what you say. What it is that you stand for is part of your discipline. If you say that I will give you water in this next 1 year, it doesn't come, it simply means you're not disciplined. And therefore, the service is not happening. If you say that we need to do these things at 8 a.m. and you show up at 11, you will not be successful. You will not do your service. So, discipline and service go hand in hand. And you can check and see that many leaders who are disciplined achieve more with a shorter period. Also, in a leadership term, a disciplined leader is able to be more effective and more efficient. Meaning they can achieve their results using minimal resources. Because you see, when you're not disciplined, giving example of political leadership, for example, if you're not disciplined, you're likely to even inflate the tenders, the budgets. So you end up having very little money remaining to actually do the service. So you will not be able to achieve the service because you are indisciplined in your planning, you are indisciplined in terms of budgeting, you are indisciplined in terms of time. So you cannot be successful, you cannot achieve what you intend to achieve unless you are disciplined. And that can be seen in all areas, even in a church, by the way. You cannot grow as a church unless there is discipline. Because people must be disciplined enough to do what the Bible expects them to do. You cannot give a sermon that is life-changing, unless you are disciplined as a person. Because you've got to spend time and prepare for it. You know, sometimes people say that, you know, you can go and read one scripture and talk about it, fire come down, say amen 20 times. Now, that does not achieve what God intended. Or in my own view. So even as a pastor, you spend time preparing for the messages. The messages I hear you preach in EBN, you don't just wake up and go and preach.
And Dr. Because you are talking about pastors, can we stay on that line a little bit? Because now pastors also have to be disciplined because they are also hold leadership positions. People respect them, and there are things that a pastor, people are not expecting you to do. But now there is this thing that people are calling grace. And okay, I hear them talk about it. I wonder whether
I know where you are going.
I wonder whether it's the grace that is in the Bible. But don't you think it is just an issue of disciplined period? You just need to be a disciplined leader. You are doing some of these things because you are lacking manners.
You said it so well. You see, grace is not supposed to be misused. And I think that is where many Christians and viewers, I am a serious Christian, born again in class 7.
Wow,
I've never looked back.
Yeah.
So I'm speaking as a serious Christian. Pastor,
Yes, please, go
Christians
ahead. Go
have
ahead.
taken the grace of God for granted. They go and do all kind of things and say the grace is sufficient.
Yes.
Grace is not supposed to make you do the wrong things,
It's not
or
a
so to
license.
speak, it is not a license to sin.
Yes.
It is sad, and I'm sure some people will be stoning me after this. It is very sad, Pastor, that you can be a leader in a church and you're mentioned with infidelity, you're mentioned with moving with the choir,
Choir master.
you are mentioned
praise
with
team members.
Pastor, you seem to know these things. Yeah.
I'm a pastor. I'm a pastor.
It is,
Yes.
and when we talk about leadership in church, it's not just the pastor.
Yeah.
Any leader in
Also
church.
other leaders, yeah.
So for me, actually, it is in discipline. Because Paul says in the Word of God that sometimes he found himself doing things that he did not want to do. So he had to discipline his own body. Because you know what? Yes, even pastors are human beings.
Yes.
But irrespective of the fact that they are human beings,
Yes.
the Bible says you must beat your body. You cannot be leading a pastor, a church, and you're the one who is promiscuous, you're with women in clubs. I mean, you are simply indisciplined. Wacheni mambo ya kuleta grace, maana mali grace hakuna. And I say that with all humility.
And all respect.
And all respect.
Wow, yeah. Because now also, think about it. Will these leaders, if you entertain indiscipline, will you ever deliver? Because there are sermons to be preached. How will people view you after cases of indisciplines? And so I think we just need to exercise discipline for us to deliver the leadership that we came to deliver.
Correct.
Yeah.
You see, Pastor, perception is everything. And I've heard many pastors say, which is true, that what you don't respect cannot help you. What actually shocks me, Pastor, from a leadership point of view, and I'm a leader in my own right, is how you can be so promiscuous. I like that you are using the word indisciplined. You are moderated yourself. I think that's why you are a pastor.
Yeah, of course. Infidelity.
I don't understand how someone will come out from a club, stand on the pulpit and preach, and not even that. And the members themselves cannot tell there is a problem. Basically, that means that particular pulpit or altar is dead. And I think maybe we need to go back to the times of Ananias, where you stand there, you've been doing silly things, struck. And I'm talking this with a lot of humility, because you see what? The church should be the standard. Remember I said, when you are a leader with discipline, you should be the standard. The church is the standard. Pastor, how are you going to tell political leaders they are doing the wrong thing when they know you are out there with women, you are out there corrupting everything, you are out there also doing the same things they do? You simply have failed.
Dr. Okay, I know that we have taken a swipe on church leadership a little bit, but indiscipline is disruptive.
Yes.
We should agree that.
Yes.
So no matter who you are, call yourself governor, call yourself senator, call yourself bishop, call yourself apostle. If you lack discipline, you are going to disrupt service delivery.
Correct.
At the end of the day, that vision, if you're a bishop, it will not be fulfilled.
Correct.
You will become a junk, just a shell.
No, you'll just be speaking. You know, Pastor, and you've said it very well. Remember, we said that if you are a disciplined leader, you have a plan of where you're going.
Yes.
And you stick to that plan. You focus.
And it keeps you on the way.
Correct.
Yeah.
But now, if you are in discipline, basically what that means is you will not achieve your vision. And if you do, it will be not the God kind of a vision from a church point of view. Because you see, again, there are people who will speak fire, but they know they have, in their heart, they know that they are not right with God. So it is true when you have leadership that is not disciplined, even in our own homes. There will be a problem. Because if you are a father and you are a drunkard and you go to your house and tell your children drinking is bad.
Yes.
I mean, what are you saying?
You know, Dr. I really hear how you are coming. But isn't it discipline? Isn't it the discipline that we are discussing today?
Yes.
For leaders to own up their mistakes?
Correct.
Please.
A disciplined leader must be able to accept responsibility and be accountable. Two key words there. Any leader who is disciplined must be accountable to the people they lead, must be accountable to the family if you're a father, must be accountable to the church if you're a pastor, must be accountable to the country if you're a president, must be accountable to the county if you're a governor, and must be responsible for their mistakes.
Yes.
And by the way, that is why even the Bible says, if you confess your sin, you're forgiven.
He is faithful.
But it is wrong for you to be so indisciplined and then you think that you have done nothing. In fact, you even become arrogant. And that is what many leaders do. Because they think they have the power, or maybe they think they probably hear God better than us. They become arrogant.
Yeah.
You see, a disciplined leader must be responsible. Own up. If you have messed this country, own up. If you messed your county, own up.
If you mess your church, own up.
Correct.
Please, what is so hard in saying, I'm sorry, I failed, but with another chance, I will succeed? What makes us, because, you know, whether it is God or human beings, there's no place where there's no second chance. But they keep on saying, I did nothing wrong. And we keep on hearing, I'm as white as Pamba. Or even on political. What is wrong if you say, I think we did something, we did not get it right here, but with a second chance, we will do it right? What is wrong? God has never said he will not forgive people.
Yeah, sure. Actually, it all boils on something called pride.
Arrogance.
You see, when you are proud, you become arrogant.
Yeah.
There are very few leaders in this nation who are humble.
Yeah.
You see, if you are humble and if you are not proud and if you're able to control your emotions, which is part of emotional intelligence, you will own up and say, guys, I was wrong and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But because of the pride that is in you and because of the feeling that you are powerful than the people that want you are trying to tell I was wrong, you say, no, I mean, how do I tell my family I'm wrong? I mean, I'm the man of the house. How now? You know, this is who ni Papa. You know, how can Papa be wrong? Again, the other reason is the people being are the people being led. The people being led, Pastor, are also a problem. They make the person, they make it difficult.
They deify him. They make him like a god.
Not even like a god. They make it difficult for the person to say, I'm sorry. They make it so difficult.
The followers.
Yes, the followers make it so difficult for me to, for a leader to say that I'm sorry. Because for the followers, I mean, this is, how can the governor be wrong? I mean, it's not possible. I don't want to use the church for other reasons. How can this one be wrong? And when they are wrong, you even find the followers are the ones that are defending the wrong. So it makes it very difficult. They even start stoning, like the way what happened in Nyeri. They will start stoning the people who think that their leader is wrong. They'll stone you and tell you, they'll quote the Bible. If you have never sinned, throw the first stone. Hello?
Yeah, we have had those
You
quotes
know?
many times.
So
we have had that
pride
many times. Yeah.
and the followers themselves making it very hard for people, for the leader to actually say, I'm sorry. But as a leader, again, you must actually
somebody
take
said that we are
responsibility.
called daddy. And somebody told me, he sent a quote to me, he said, don't daddy me to hell. Don't daddy me to hell. You see, don't daddy me. You are calling me daddy you to make me go to hell. And we were saying it right that followers are making leaders.
They are making it very hard for leaders to do the right thing.
Turn around. And you see so many things have gone wrong. I think we cannot exhaust this. We just must take a short break and then we come and delve deeper into this. We'll be right back. Well, we are glad you are watching this program. Definitely we have covered some ground, and I believe you're getting a lot of information and you're getting a lot of answers to questions that have been troubling you. Talking about disciplined leadership, all discipline in leadership. And we have established a few things, and I know Dr. will be coming to summarize for us, but we have established a few things. Number one is that if you are not disciplined, it will be hard for you to deliver services. You will never achieve goals because there will always come up something that will get you out of the way and you will not be able to do. We have also said that leadership is disruptive. It disrupts your vision, so you will not be able to pursue it. Now, Daktari, why don't we narrow down a little bit, and because I think when it comes to money matters, I think that is where we have the highest forms of indiscipline. And I want us to look at how can we apply discipline in making sure our expenditure, whether it is in government offices, whether it is in church finances, whether it is institutions like the Masai Mara University, you see, these kind of things. How can we ensure, especially on matters, please talk to us about discipline on matters of finances.
Yeah, if you have no financial discipline, however rich you are, you remain a poor man.
Oh,
why do I say
again.
so?
Yeah.
If you're not disciplined, if you have no financial discipline, even if you are so rich, at the end of it all, you'll remain very poor.
So no matter how much money is there?
Yeah, because...
okay. Before you go, I know you want to I know you want to explode. So some people are complaining that you have given us a very small budget. It is on the statement that you have just made.
That's what I wanted to say.
So no matter how much budget government gives to you,
if you have no discipline, no, you will see nothing. Let me give you a good example.
Wow. Okay.
How you manage 1,000 shillings. The discipline to manage 1,000 shillings is as important as discipline to manage 100 million. And if you cannot manage 1,000 shillings, Pastor, you cannot manage even 100 million.
Wow.
No. That is why you must be disciplined enough to know that this is the money I have, this is the plan I have, these are the things I can achieve with the money that I have. Even as a human being, if you can't, if you do what we call in marketing impulse buying, you go to town, you find things you are not planned to buy, you buy, 1,000 is gone. You cannot succeed money-wise without discipline. You must, and you don't need to earn a lot of money to say that now I'll be, there are some people who say I'll be disciplined when I start earning 6 figures.
Yes.
When I was earning 12,500, and now I earn good money.
Yes.
The discipline has remained. Actually, it is not the amount of money that you earn that makes the difference. It is what you do with what you earn that makes the difference.
Yeah, did you hear that?
And what
Very
you do
powerful.
with what you earn, Pastor, is dependent on your own discipline. Sometimes it is good if you can. I tried, but after some time I stopped. If you can, it is always good to budget your money. Just see how much am I spending on what. That's part of discipline. And you'll be surprised that most of us spend millions of shillings on our hair. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Eating burgers and on phone. if you are disciplined enough, you see, remember we have said you must have a vision. So if you have a vision, you want to build a church, or you want to build something, or you want to do a road, you must be disciplined enough. And Pastor, you can see from Nairobi County, when the disciplined forces, as they call themselves, when the leader who came is a disciplined force man, they have done a lot with very little money. Because you see, when you're not disciplined, either you put money everywhere or you even steal. Because the integrity is one of the key disciplines in leadership. So if you corrupt, you spend some little money here, that's where you find unfinished business everywhere, especially from a political point of view. You start
the project.
Everywhere, because there was no discipline. And again, discipline, money matters, Ref. You must ensure that you do something to the end. You don't start buying a car, then you are building, then you are buying a land. You need to plan. In planning, you also need to be disciplined that, hey, this is what I want to do at this time, and this is the money. So without discipline, money-wise, you die poor.
You know, I'm listening as you talk, and I'm wondering, wow, will they ever be disciplined if they don't have that mental picture, what we usually call a vision? Will they ever be disciplined? Because there is this county you have become a governor over, and there are pressing issues, there are children issues, there are women issues, there are roads issues, there are water issues. If you don't know where you are taking the county, will really discipline apply?
No, you see, when you have a vision, you need to break it down to actionable plans. So your vision is to have a county that is this way, but for this county to be this way, we need roads, we need water, we need industries. So as a leader who is disciplined, you will know that this is the money, I have 100 million. If I do this particular project, all the 100 million will be gone and it will not finish. So that's why you must have actionable plans with the budget and say, because I want my county to be this way, I'm going to do this road that is worth 10 million. I complete it, then my people are able to take their farm produce to the market. Then after I'm done with that, I'm going to do water, which will cost me this much. And you see, when you do that plan, and then you involve the people, you definitely will succeed. But you must have the discipline to stick to your plan.
Because now, you know, you go, you see some projects that are started somewhere. And even some church projects, but also county projects and national government projects. They come the poor material. And the material is rotting there. The material stays there for over 10 years. You wonder, how come these people brought this material here? Work started, they dug trenches, and then they left trouble for people to jump over trenches, and then the work is not continuing. Isn't this now the indiscipline we are talking about?
Yeah, you see, for example, when you're putting this mega church that we are in, viewers, we are in a mega church, redeemed gospel church Buruburu, one of the kind.
No, wait. Thank you, Dr.
No, it's the truth. You see, it took discipline on the leadership of this church to actually put up this church.
And you know, because where we got the money from.
Correct, because you see, you had other things that needed to be done. It was not the only thing that needed to be done. You could have decided to buy yourself a house, Pastor, as a leader. You could have decided to buy yourself a car. Thank God for your followers. I saw they bought you a good car the other day.
I really thank God. Okay, right, let's continue. The discipline of making sure you do projects that are actionable.
Correct.
Realistic goals.
Correct.
Yes, please.
Yeah, you see, for you to put up this church, there was a plan. And then there were actions. You said, let us start with the foundation. This is the amount of money we need for the foundation. The foundation is over. Let's do the other thing. But it doesn't mean that the church did not have other needs. It's just that the leadership focused. And the leadership was disciplined enough to do what they had envisioned to do.
Put the money into where it was. That is discipline.
Correct.
You know, it's like, I'm feeling like some county leadership is starting a project, and then they pick the money they had budgeted for this project.
They use it for something else. In discipline.
So we end up with unfinished projects all over the country.
Correct.
Yeah,
because you see what they do, in my view, is that they let's say you've been given 100 million. Then you realize this 100 million is supposed to bring water, but in water there are no shortcuts. So why don't I instead do a road and then I can bring mchanga, nini. So when you put money where it doesn't belong, that is equal to indiscipline. And that is why the services are not happening, because our leaders have no discipline.
Yeah, and really the discussion on discipline, on finances and financial use really is a wide discussion. And I think we'll come and exhaust it even further. But we must go on, because a leader is surrounded by so many things that require him to be disciplined. And we can move on and look at the way, the discipline of remaining the leader you were called to be. Because I think some of the good people we knew, they ever since changed to be things we do not know. We wonder whether these are the leaders. And how do you remain disciplined in the presence of a lot of money, a lot of people that praise you, and good cars, and all these resources? How will discipline help you to remain the leader that people elected, and not something else?
Yeah, people and leaders need to understand that the fact that you are in a position today, the fact that you have the finest things in life, does not give you the license to do what you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you the license not to be professional, so to speak. Because you must always remember you are a servant to the people. You must always remember, as a leader, the people you lead are looking up to you. And when you remember that, there are things you will never do. If you remember that you are there because God has put you there for a reason, whether in political leadership, whether in an organization, whether in church, when you remember the reason or the mission, the purpose why you are a leader, there are things you will never do. So the best way to stick to your values, of course values are very important, the best way to stick to our values and to what you stand for, to what you believe in, you must always remember that you are accountable to God, and you are accountable to yourself and to the people that you lead. If you remember that, you will never be proud, you will never do some things I see leaders doing. You will stick to your mission, you will stick to your vision, you will stick to your purpose. Because you see, God puts us in different positions for a reason.
Yeah.
And when that reason is over, God will remove you from it. So you must always remember you're here for a reason and for a season. You cannot be a leader forever.
Yeah.
Even if even a pastor cannot be a pastor forever. One day they will either retire or they will just be in the background. So you must always do those things that people will remember you for. In other words, when you remember that you must also leave a legacy, when you remember you must also be accountable to God, to yourself, and to the people.
Yeah.
You will not allow the power to get to your head.
Enter into your head. And many people are changing and they are becoming careless because they are surrounded by these, bodyguards and all this.
Yeah.
And Daktari, we are running with the 3 Gs, if you have noticed. The 3 Gs that corrupt leaders.
Yes.
They say the 3 Gs is gold, girls, and glory.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. And now we have tackled the gold part. We have tackled about glory. Although I really want us to say more about the glory, because that is where leaders have gone mad. Wamekuwa kicha ikifika hapo because of all this power, the trappings of power, and they get into something we do not elect, into people that we never elected into positions. And it's something I think you'll address that as we come to know. But also there are important disciplines, because majority of leaders, the girls now, we need to touch a little bit on it. And at least you're a girl.
Yeah, I'm a girl, yeah.
Leave
girls alone, Leave girls alone, leaders.
You can talk a little bit how leaders can make sure they are not corrupt. I think we have heard enough stories about people breaking their families, leaving your dear wife, you marry a second one and a third one. It's like every new term in office, you marry and you
Another one.
I think we need to be sober, and you can speak about this.
Rev, girls are good people, and allow me to use the word of God. You know, a leader must be disciplined enough not to do what the body is saying.
Yeah.
A leader must be disciplined enough to deny themselves pleasure because of where they are going. You see, that is where the problem
and
comes.
God-given responsibility.
Correct. You see, you may get that pleasure today, but it messes your vision completely. So as a leader, you must ensure that you actually purpose in your heart that you will not be utaangushwa na girls. And by the way, it's also biblical. Look at Samson, a powerful man, one woman, Chini. If you look at the Bible, for the simple reason, he was not disciplined enough. And by the way, if you look at Samson, for example, even his own parents would tell him this is the wrong way. And a leader who is disciplined, Pastor, what shocks me most is when a leader is moving with girls and is even married.
They are forgetting their families.
Not even that, because I keep asking myself, if you're married and you have a wife, why are you following a girl? Why are you, messing their lives? So for me, and what I believe in is that a leader must be able to say no. Because a true leader says no and does the right thing. Even when the body is saying otherwise. Just... and of course, the best way to do that is to allow Christ into your life, leaders, because Christ will control. When Christ controls your life and the Holy Spirit, you will stick there. And if you're born again and you feel like the body is inachemka kidogo, if you are not married, marry. That's what the Bible says.
That's what the Bible says.
And when you marry, stick to your wife. There is no, where are you going? It is a shame for... especially a preacher to be chasing girls in the choir, in the congregation. It's sad.
It's sad. And it's not only preachers, also these other
political people,
political leaders, has impregnated another girl there, and
girls as young as your own daughters,
and even some go to an extent to kill, to hide
the evidence.
So we have Daktari to have discipline when it comes to dealing with members of the opposite sex. No matter who you are, you may be a woman, be careful. Discipline will require that you keep your distance so that you may survive and stay long.
And even girls, you must be disciplined enough. You cannot be moving with married men. They will never marry you. Let me give you advice, free. No married man will leave their wife to marry you. No one. They will misuse you, leave you there, and move on with their lives.
And if you are not careful, you'll be killed.
Okay.
Anyway, God help us. I think we must wrap it there. I want you, Daktari, to look at your camera and address these issues in a summary manner.
Thank you very much. Our viewers, you must be disciplined. Our leaders, you must exercise discipline in all you do. Whether it is in budgeting, whether it is in your own life. When you are a leader, you become public. You stop being private. So you must exercise discipline. You must do the right thing. You must remain focused. And you must be a role model that any Kenyan would want to be like. So as a leader, ensure discipline becomes your enduring characteristic. And as I finish, I have a gift for the man of God.
Wow.
I've realized that he's very passionate on matters leadership.
Really, I do.
And because I write books, I wrote this book, Dissecting the Art of Leadership, and I felt that I need to give this man of God a copy. So this is your gift from me for today.
Wow. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Viewers, it's a beautiful book, Dissecting the Heart of Leadership. I think I'll brush it in 7 days. I'll be able to recite the book. And thank you so much for the gift. And we are ending up our show there. But just know that without discipline, you will never deliver the goals that you are supposed to deliver as a leader. We really need discipline. And power should not enter into your head and you begin to misbehave. You must remain humble. God will use you. And finally, leadership comes from God. And one day, you'll give an account of everything that you do as a leader. Until next time, God bless you and God keep you. Bye-bye.